is the part 2 of APC Nuggets, brought to you by APC Mates, with your mate Sibahle with an I. So we're still speaking about what you should be doing between now and the day that you receive your pre-release information. In part 1, we spoke about the master file and you compiling your master file, which should not take you longer than a day. And in this video, we'll be dealing with doing meaningful self-reflections, which will then assist you and be quite fundamental in your preparation and gearing you to be ready for the pre-release period, as well as for the actual day. So as far as the pre-release, as far as self-reflection rather, 6 key concepts that you should consider and make sure that you include when you go about your self-reflections, because whatever your area of weakness may be, you'll get your answer by going through these 6 key reflective points. So yeah, I'll just go right into it without wasting much time. So this is what you must be doing for each task. So let me just go through the 6 concepts first, and then I'll explain what essentially you must be assessing on each. So number 1, technical knowledge. Number 2, application. Number 3, structure. Number 4, flow of response. 5, relevance of response. And 6, time. All right, so for each task, then the questions that you'll then you should be able to ask or answer for yourself with each task that you are then reflecting. With technical knowledge, you need to ask yourself, with this particular task, did I have it? That's the question you ask for technical knowledge, and you just need to be honest with yourself. That one, it's either it's either you had it or you did not have it. But it doesn't end there. You need to ask yourself, when it comes to the technical knowledge, not just did I have it and leave it there, but you also need to assess the depth of the knowledge of that particular concept or that particular task, because as we know, when it comes to APC, depth and coverage is fundamentally a make or break. So if you will just do your self-reflection and say, yes, I had the technical knowledge, but you are not assessing to what extent you were able to then to what extent you had that technical knowledge, then you are not doing justice to yourself in terms of reflecting on technical knowledge. Which then leads to number 2, which is application. The question that you ask yourself is, was I able to apply the technical knowledge to the given scenario? And was I able to link the pre-release information and IOD and apply on the day? So it's one thing to have the technical knowledge, but it's a different thing to then apply the technical knowledge. So you need to assess that, in the sense that you can even be because now it's even more at hindsight view, so you know that that particular subject matter, I did have the technical knowledge, but I can see that with looking at my response, I was not able to sufficiently apply to the actual specific case study. Maybe I just wanted to show off that I know that technical knowledge, but I did not do much of the application. So you must make sure that you incorporate then how you applied it, or you must be able to answer whether you're able to apply, or assess whether you are able to apply that technical knowledge. Structure, you need to ask yourself, did you provide the required structure, or did I provide the required structure? That one is straightforward. It's either you were required to provide it in a specific structure, or if you're not, that's fine. Then that one will be either not applicable or yes or no, depending on that particular task. Flow of response, that's number 4, flow of response. That one is quite essential. The way that a chartered accountant is expected to answer or provide a response to a subject matter or a task is different from how a trainee accountant would be expected to respond to a particular task. So now you are at hindsight view, you are reading your response. Sometimes you can tell, and most of the times you would be able to tell that, no, but like when I read this, it's not giving the what I would expect even from a qualified chartered accountant. So you need to be honest with yourself with that, and see, just whether or not the flow of that response is what would be expected of a chartered accountant. So in that same breath, you also would be wanting to ask the question, would this particular response that I've provided be suitable for the audience that it was intending to address, that would then be informed by whatever then the task or the context of the case study was, and who was your audience. So you need to then consider that, whether you were able to address the target audience in the appropriate flow, tone, and just an ability to then craft a response that is of a expected of a newly qualified CA. Also here, the great thing is that now you do have the actual specimen response, or the response to that particular task, so you will be able to gauge from the response, or the specimen response that they'll provide you, as far as what is then, how is then a flow supposed to be like, or what was the expected flow from you for this particular task, because now you do see the actual response or the actual specimen, so you can then have a better gauge of the flow, or how a professionally sounding response should look like. Number 5, relevance of response. So with the relevance of response, the moral of the story, you want to identify your time wasters, all the piece of information, or all the response, all the part of the response that you provided that was not relevant, that did not give you any grading. So those things are your time wasters, so you should also be aware of those. You need to now be honest with yourself and try to assess, why did you think it was relevant? Is it because genuinely you thought it would be relevant, which will then lead to a second branch of questions to say, why did you think it was relevant? Then it might lead you to look at the case study or the task a bit different, because now you know that your mind was thinking that this was relevant, whereas it was not actually relevant. But since now you're asking that question of, why was it not relevant? Because now you need to also get to that point of saying, okay, since it was not part of the specimen response, or it was not worth grading, why was it not relevant? And then that will also be nudging you in the right direction in terms of what is regarded as relevant for APC related task, or that particular subject matter, or in that particular content. And then lastly, of course, time. You are just honest with yourself there, saying, did I manage it effectively? In terms of, because you know the gap there, or the key part of that is, when it comes to time, people will just say, I ran out of time. But the second leg of it that we do not consider, that you must then consider when you do your self-reflection, and for the task where you ran out of time, ask yourself, if I did not run out of time, would I have actually known this particular subject matter, or this particular task? Would I have been able to properly respond to this task? Because we don't want to just give time as I won't say the excuse, but time as the reason for you not finishing the task and leave it there, whereas the other element is for you to consider whether you actually did have the technical knowledge. But so I think I have covered the essentials when it comes to the self-reflections and what you should be doing for to get a valuable self-reflection. Also with this material, also just if you want more content on it, or context of how to do it and how to go about it, it's also there on my YouTube channel, where I explain in detail how to go about it. But yeah, I'll just leave it here for now. So that concludes what I would advise you to do between now and the day that you receive your pre-release information, which is essentially, number 1, doing your master file, which will not take you longer than a day, and then doing your self-reflection. Self-reflection, you do not have a time limit for it, but just cover as much as you can. You can do maybe 2 papers, so that you have a better reflection of your main gaps. Maybe you'll be able to identify that for accounting, you are lacking in maybe application, because now you'll be able to make a fair assessment if you've done more than one self-reflection, to like note a trend of sort, to say maybe with management accounting related triggers, your your downfall or your weakness is in being able to provide a response that flows, or maybe your downfall is in the technical knowledge and the application thereof. But after you've done that, then you should be fine. So the question that I normally get from a lot of my mentees when it comes to this period between now and the day of your pre-release information is whether they should be covering technical information or technical matters. I would strongly advise not to, because you could be wasting your time, and most of the time that has been the case, because on my first attempt I did waste I did use some time of mine to then be looking at technical material or concepts that were not my strong points, but you get to the pre-release period and it's not triggered. So I think the best way to utilize your time is towards your reflections, and then it's just the master file, which will not take you that long. So I would not advise you to be doing any technical to be revising any technical information. So that's it for this part that deals with the period before pre-release information. We will then be doing the next parts, which will be covering the pre-release period itself, all the 5 days, as well as on the day. I wish you the best of luck as you prepare. I wish you the best of luck as you compile your master file and as you do your self-reflections. You can leave your comments if you need assistance, and I will attend to them when I can. All the best, and I am rooting for you. Next video, I'll be dealing with the pre-release period, covering what you should be doing from day 1 till day 5. Until the next one, cheers and all the best.